It's day 5 of the 30 days challenge, and today I'm tired. I'm tired. In the past 24 hours, if I'm being honest, I have slept no more than 3 hours. Because I remember 4 of the 30 days challenge, and today, yeah, I have to edit the video as well. So I slept like 6 a.m. yesterday, and then woke up around like 9 a.m. And the reason I'm saying this is, as I've mentioned in the previous videos that I've done, we have a deadline to meet. We need to ship the product as soon as possible. So today, as it's yesterday when I recorded a video, it was around 3 a.m. at the time, and currently it is 2:48 a.m. So it's almost 24 hours since I recorded that video. But you can imagine I've been awake all this while, and right from that time I continued to work on the infrastructure setup. I ran into a lot of challenges, and throughout the day I had to do some back and forths, try to use the various AIs, Claude, use ChatGPT to help me figure things out, but it hasn't been easy at all. Some of the resources that I am using, I'm pretty new to them, so it makes sense. Like, I have to learn them to be able to get to where I wanted to get to. But the biggest challenge that I faced today, let me take it one after the other. So eventually I had to revert everything that I've done. So I left the code base that I started with initially and started over again, so that I would be able to correct the mistakes, because the AI kept suggesting a lot of things and I kept accepting it and trying it out. The biggest challenge is that with the infrastructure setup, you have to tear down and bring it up again. It takes time. So if you want to do a teardown can take more than 2 minutes or even 5 minutes, and you'd want to recreate all the infrastructure again, because sometimes you may not have to destroy it entirely depending on what you want to change. But say you change a lot of things that you want to see if it's going to work when you start from scratch, then you have to destroy everything that you have set up, then bring it up again, and it takes time. So I've been doing it throughout the day, but I haven't gotten much rest. I'm feeling very tired. I really wish I could just get sleep, but I'm hoping to set everything up and now get some sleep after all. So hopefully after here, I'm seeing some light at the end of this tunnel, and I'm hoping that it's really good light for me and I can go get some rest. So just to give you context, for those of you who might be hearing this the first time, we're building a platform called Granted. It's a platform that would help you manage your grant application process. So the entire end-to-end process of grant application, which starts from discovery of grants and even writing your grant application and managing the entire application process, with an AI recommendation engine and AI writing assistance inbuilt. So that's what we're working on. But now I need to deploy the various services that we're going to use on AWS. For instance, the main services that I'm working on is EC2, which is the virtual machine. We have RDS with PostgreSQL, that's the database, and S3 for storage. So those are the three major services that I'm working on. Then you have to now consider the network. So we have what's called VPC. Inside a VPC, you have to create, like we have to create internal networks or sub networks, that is called subnets. And in the subnets, we have public subnet, and maybe I should have used my board to explain this, but sometime I'll make some time to explain this better. So all of that and setting up firewalls, which is security groups, and it's been one hell of a day, trust me. Then eventually I got that working, but I wanted to automate even more than just the infrastructure setup. In fact, I figured out the infrastructure setup earlier in the day, so that was pretty easy. Not too easy, but it was easy. Then I needed to, there are several things that you would do, like setting up SSL and deploying the code base for the first time, building that code base for production use and running it to the process manager to make sure that it's serving on the right port and it can be restarted anytime. All of those things, I wanted to be able to automate them with bash scripts, and that was where I had the biggest challenges. Sometimes because of some of the changes that I had to make, like I would realize that the infrastructure setup itself is wrong. I need to go fix something and I'll go back to it. It was really tough. But eventually I gave up on the idea of automating everything, and also instead of having every piece in one long script for the automation, I try to now create smaller scripts. So there's a script that is specifically for generating the SSL certificate. There's a script that's specifically for building and deploying the application itself for the first time. That's what I settled on. Then I moved on to the CI/CD pipeline, which is the actual automation for deploying the code, such that anytime we made changes to it and we wanted to make a new release, we'll use that automation. So what I did was to create a branch on GitHub called the production, and this branch, anytime you push code to that branch, it will automatically deploy to the service. And getting this thing to work has been the biggest headache so far. It's not new. I've done it several times. I know exactly what to do. But then the challenge is with my current infrastructure setup and this. And I keep testing things, I keep fixing things. You run one thing and you run into another problem. So let me give you an example. Say here, if you can see my screen, this is what is running. And one of the biggest problems, see, right now, everything should be working fine, but this has taken 27 minutes so far, and I still haven't gotten feedback on it. Like, I'm waiting for this step to complete, and there are several other steps. In fact, this is the final step where if it completes, then everything is working. It's actually building, and now I have a feeling, now that I'm thinking about it, because it's taking so long, I have a feeling that the server is even hanging at the moment and I need to fix it. But if I go, let me show you this. See the actions that see the workflows. So, and each of them will take some time. I started doing this 3 hours ago. So this ran for just 19 seconds. I fixed the problem. I tested it again, 1 minute, 15 seconds, it failed. I tested it again, 4 minutes, it failed. Tested it again, 5 minutes. So the problem is that when you do a single one, like you make any changes to it, you have to wait until the deployment has completed and failed, or has failed, before you'd go back to your drawing board and figure out, oh, what failed, let me fix it. Then you fix it. Then there's one thing I didn't even realize, like, I mentioned that yesterday's code that I started with for setting up the infrastructure, I had to abandon it and start a new one that eventually worked. And it turns out I left some important things out, like for the database connection. The database is being kept in a private subnet. This is a sub network where it is private, so that nothing can have access to it unless you grant it access. And what I forgot to do is to set up that ability for other resources in other subnets to connect to it. So all this while I was trying everything that I knew to be able to connect to my database even from my virtual machine, and it wasn't working. And I thought in my mind, like, it's there. We call it the NAT Gateway. The NAT Gateway and the route tables were configured in my mind, but it turns out that in the code I left them out. So it took me forever to figure that out, and eventually I figured it out. Now I'm able to connect to the database from the server, but I need my GitHub code to do same. And fortunately, it took, as I said, frankly, forever. But as now it has been able to figure that, now that I've figured it out, it's been able to connect, and I can see that the migrations are running. But the actual build process is what I think is not working right now. Not working because Node.js tends to be resource intensive when it comes to building. So I might have to go and increase the server, the capacity of the server that I'm using. But at this moment, I'm so tired. I don't think I'm thinking straight. And I see that's probably one of the reasons, because I've been going so hard on this for several days now, and I'm beginning to feel tired, maybe not thinking straight too much, and a host of other things. Today, I stepped out. In fact, I haven't stepped out in a long while, like in about 2 weeks. I haven't even gone outside of my room. I've always been inside. So today I was feeling the heat and I wanted to just go outside. And unfortunately, another thing happened. My bicycle got locked up somewhere. I had to carry my bicycle and bring it to the house. So yeah, that is how, I don't know, how my day went. It wasn't the greatest of day, but I guess we live to fight another day. I would stop here since this is taking forever to complete, 32 minutes, and it's taking forever to complete. So yeah, it's even been cancelled because it didn't finish after 32 minutes. So I would leave it there, and tomorrow I'll try some things to see if it works, and I'll keep you posted. And thank you those of you who have given me feedback on previous videos. I appreciate you. If you like this video and you want to see more of it, please go ahead and comment it below. Also, like the video, give the video a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of this. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.